In our initial review, we actually tested it for you. The iPhone Air can take 60 kilograms and the phone still bounces back. That is the weight Apple demoed for us back then. So now that the retail iPhone Air is available, we're naturally still curious. How much weight will it break? Can we get some hard numbers? I used a hydraulic press to test it, making it very wonderful. It can reliably take 100 kilos, so you won't worry about its strength. Anyway, the Chinese iPhone L is finally very close, but just like we all had thought, there is one thing we can't ignore about the iPhone Air. It doesn't have a physical SIM slot because it is too thin, which means the Chinese iPhone Air only uses eSIMs from the big three carriers. So I went to a carrier store to test out the activation process for it. Overall, it is pretty simple. But for introverted folks, it still takes some guts. You just hand them your ID and your cell phone. Give it about 10 minutes, and the eSIM icon will pop up on your iPhone. And of course, I asked some questions you care about. Let's take China Unicom's SIM as an example. First, which service centers handle eSIMs? That is simple. You can check their apps for authorized locations. Not every single one can though. Second, each phone can only open 2 eSIMs per M-on. This means the iPhone Air can frequently swap SIM cards. So the third thing is, out of town, you can only swap your original SIM for an eSIM, but you can't open a new eSIM card out of town. And the last thing is, what if you go overseas? Does that mean domestic phones can't be used overseas? Actually, no. The Chinese market iPhone Air can indeed activate foreign carriers. But the thing is, this feature only activates once you are overseas. So basically, the China market iPhone Air just has this extra ED thing. Anyway, the 3 major domestic carriers Air is just way too light and thin. Like every time you pick it up, you can't help but go, wow. Or when you first hand this phone to someone else, they're all like, whoa, this is so thin, so light. Design-wise, I really think this phone is pretty much flawless. It is one of the most refined phones I've seen in years, especially with that polished titanium frame. Gives you that pro model vibe from a few years back. And with this year's colors, you'll find yourself just picking up the phone to admire it, especially when it is next to other phones. That premium feel really stands out. After all, the iPhone Air is going to cost you more than the Pro series to some extent. You are paying the same money, getting fewer features. You are basically paying for the design. After using it for a while, we got this pretty clear feeling that the design is genuinely amazing. But did they make this phone a bit too big? I don't know if you feel this way, but after using it for a while, it becomes pretty obvious. The iPhone Air has a 6.5-inch screen right between the Pro and Pro Max, which means a lot of times it is in this awkward spot. Should I use it one-handed or two-handed? With the Pro, you can easily reach everywhere with your thumb. But with the Air, you can see your thumb coverage areas like this. Compared to the Pro, one-handed use feels way less natural. The weight and thickness, when you are holding it, gives you this hollow feeling like you can't get a good grip. After using it for a while, you lose that lightweight sensation. It gradually fades away. That is our personal experience. So besides the looks, you're probably most curious about battery life, right? After actually using it for 2 weeks, I can tell you for sure, the battery life just isn't quite enough for light users. The Air's battery can definitely last a full day. But if you are like me, using it intensively every day, photos, gaming, videos, chatting, meetings, then this iPhone Air's battery life honestly makes me feel anxious. And we found that the iPhone Air's always on display feature I really suggest you turn off because it really drains the battery. Like on the iPhone 17 Pro Max Pro, you don't really notice it. Obviously, but on the Air, you'll definitely feel the battery lasting a bit longer because of it. Now, some friends might say, didn't Apple officially say about the iPhone Air, they said this battery would give you a full day of use. Apple's selling this battery pack for $799. So how is the user experience? Do you really want to buy it? It actually has 3 certifications so you can buy it, but I really advise you to think it through. The experience with this thing is pretty slow, not even mentioning the combined weight. It is actually heavier than the Pro Max, and the charging speed is super slow, like super slow. When fully charged, it can only give the iPhone Air about 60 battery, then it is dead. This power bank is really something else. So if you want to buy an iPhone Air, I think the best habit is to plug it in to charge whenever you get the chance. Oh, what you're asking what to use to charge it? Well, we used Anker's 40W Anker Charge Smart for our testing. Charging from 20 to 80 takes 44 minutes. Charging power stays around 17 watts. This timing is actually similar to Pro models. iPhone Air needs such frequent charging, which puts quite a challenge on charging speed and battery health. That is why we chose Anker's newly launched 45W Anker Charge Smart for testing. Low battery gets 40W peak output. High battery gets steady fast charging. When nearly full, it enters trickle mode, and it can actively switch to phone mode. Plus, it has Rhine low temperature certified smart thermal control technology with year-round temperature monitoring 10 million times. So you don't worry about overheating while gaming and charging. Also, if you're an Apple ecosystem user, there's the entry-level 40W Anker Charge Pro that can also the 17W Anker Charge Ultra multi-port chargers meet your needs. For shorter business trips, the 10,000 mAh Anker Power Core with built-in retractable cable is also a solid choice. So for the iPhone Air's battery life, my conclusion is it is good for handling messages, browsing short videos and Weibo and other light tasks. But for those needing intense phone use daily, they really just need to choose a Pro model. So besides the battery problem, I bet you are all still wondering what that single speaker experience is like. We all know by now that this bottom part just has a microphone, no speaker. The iPhone Air only has one speaker right here, where the earpiece is, and our experience using it has been stout. I just can't stand this single speaker design. We actually ran a simulation, you can try it out. Right now you are only hearing the left channel. Now, try holding your phone upright to feel the single speaker. Isn't that unbearable? The Air feels pretty much the same. Plus, at the same volume, the Air's sound is way softer than other phones. The audio just sounds super tinny, especially for those who watch videos horizontally. Oh man, then you've really got it coming. You'll constantly feel like the sound in your other ear is just weird. And honestly, you are basically just hearing noise. Honestly, at first I thought I could deal with a single speaker. I mean, it wasn't a huge drawback. I always have my headphones on me anyway. But once you actually try it, you realize this is probably the one thing I couldn't stand. On the other hand, the single camera I thought would really bug me, but after using this 48MP main camera is genuinely better than I expected. I'll just say that now, obviously, you can't compare it to the Pro models, but when you don't have as many lens options, honestly, you lose that desire to create with your phone. And that is exactly what. This button just became even more pointless. Instead, not having an ultra wide makes my photos way less fun. So if you are often taking pictures on your phone and you want a really complete photo experience, then this definitely isn't the right choice for you. Now that brings us to a very fundamental question. Most Air users mainly scan codes with this camera, so you'll surely run into issues with close focus. Is it obvious on the Air our real-world experience found its close focus? Distance is okay, so sometimes you'll get blurry photos, but for scanning IDs or just basic documents, usually I really haven't run into anything too bothersome there. Anyway, all things considered, if you are often taking selfies or just documenting daily life, its front-facing camera is the same as the Pro series. So at that point, the iPhone Air is still perfectly fine. Alright, finally, the iPhone Air's most overlooked point is performance and heat. Sure, it has got one less GPU core than the Pro models, but honestly, I don't think that is a reason not to get one. The iPhone Air's performance, we've used it a lot and found no issues. In the month we've had it, overall, it is super smooth. Its screen is high refresh. Everything just feels so fluid. Launch reviews also tested its thermal levels. It is actually better than the iPhone 16 Pro, only 1.8 degrees hotter than the 17 Pro. This phone doesn't get too hot overall. But considering its battery life, if you like to game while it is charging, add in the crappy audio from its single speaker, all these things combined will really hurt the iPhone Air's performance in demanding games. Right now, it is the absolute worst iPhone of them all, and this is an area where it truly struggles. I've just got one more minor point I need to make. If you look closely, the Air's font clarity just isn't as sharp as other iPhones. So our guess is the Air screen size is brand new. And a lot of apps haven't had time to adapt, so it just needs a little bit of time. But if you look real close, it is definitely not as clear as other phones. So all in all, after a month of using it, I think our take on it is pretty clear. The iPhone Air is just a ridiculously unbalanced phone. A lot of people might think it is going to sell great. My current take on it is not really, at least not in 2025. I think it is the phone from this year's iPhone series I'd rate lowest. Unfortunately, this phone's design makes fans overlook every single flaw, yet others are instantly turned off by any minor issue, despite my harsh assessment of the iPhone Air, which some friends find too strict. I still firmly believe my assessment is correct. I still find this phone pretty interesting. Why? Especially since our company bought several iPhone Airs. We found if you bring these two phones very close, I mean really, really close. How come this thing is exactly like a foldable phone, and how come it is so ridiculously thin? Just throw a hinge right on it, and then fold it up, it'd only be slightly thicker than a Pro Max.
Could it be
is this tech Apple's already been working on, so that is just our current theory. I think we might have more to look forward to next year and what surprises the Air Square tech can bring us, right? Finally, a huge thank you to Anker for fully supporting this episode. The Apple charging kit they provided this time is really handy, especially this Xinjiang Smart version. For such a small size, it still puts out 45 watts of power, and the various color options also look great. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and share it. It would be a huge help, right? See you then.